Good evening, everyone, or good morning where you are. It is evening time where I am in Australia. It's 9 p.m. at night, quite late at night. For any of you on the other side of the world, it'll be very early in the morning. So I thought I'd jump on and hang out with you while I wait for my. I ordered a I ordered a pizza, and I'm waiting for it to show up. So I thought I'd come talk some true crime, early morning true crime. There are still more stories to tell even after our late show. Yeah, 9 p.m. Friday for me right now. That is correct. 9 p.m. Friday. Hey, good to see you, Woodland Creature. And Laura T. I hope some more people will wake up and they will come and join us as we get to the top of the hour. I think it'll be good. Um, I wanted to talk about this case. Let me get set up. So earlier this year, we spoke about the case of Jeremy Skibicki. Now, if you don't know Jeremy's case, he he is now convicted of killing 4 women in Canada and disposing of their bodies in trash dumpsters, basically. And while they've found, I think, one, they are looking in the Greenfell landfill for two of them. A third one called Buffalo Woman. They don't really know much about her, except that's the name given to her as a mark of respect from her people. Now, I want to show you the update because they just started searching the landfill. This has been a big planning. They've been planning this for a few years now. Cost associated could be anywhere from 50 million Canadian. Some of the blowout estimates are over $100 million Canadian and could be up to 3 years of searching. 3 years. And they have a pretty good idea where these women are due to tracking of the trucks and things like that. They have a fair idea where these women's remains might be located within the garbage dump, and it's just going to take time. The amount of effort, machinery, people, and the conditions that they're searching in are some of the worst on earth. They really are, and I'll show you some of it in a minute. But let's watch this update from CTV News in Canada.
An update today from Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew during a key stage of the Winnipeg landfill search for the remains of 2 missing and murdered Indigenous women, victims of serial killer Jeremy Skibicki. CTV's Kathy Lee now on what was said and reaction from the community wanting this for so long. Kathy?
Sandy, in a press conference, Premier Wab Kinew says excavation and sifting has started in a section of the Prairie Green landfill where the remains of 2 slain Indigenous women are believed to be. Kinew says a truck drove the first load of material to the search facility where searchers are sifting through it in hopes of finding the remains of Morgan Harris and Mercedes Mirren. Based on GPS information obtained by police from several garbage trucks, the bodies of Mirren and Harris are believed to have been dumped at the landfill 2 years ago.
We found some items which indicate that we are in the right date range and time.
37-year-old Jeremy Skibicki was sentenced to life this year for the first-degree murders of Mirren Harris, Rebecca Contois, and an unidentified woman First Nations elders have named Buffalo Woman. Some remains of Contois were found in a separate landfill shortly after Skibicki's arrest, but the remains of the other 3 women have never been found. The federal and provincial governments have each provided millions of dollars towards the search. A member of the Indigenous community in Calgary says she wishes this level of commitment was available for all missing and murdered Indigenous people.
What we're seeing is that there's a different level of searching based on gender, race, maybe sexual orientation, and that is problematic. It should be a standard procedure nationally so that all of us have a fair opportunity.
Premier Kinew says the province is preparing for the excavation to continue all of next year and potentially into 2026.
Sandy.
Okay, CTV's Kathy Lee.
There you go. By the way, it's Prairie Green landfill. Sorry, I was watching a documentary on the Grenfell Tower in the UK before I jumped on. Yeah, like you heard in that video, they expect this search to possibly go as far as 2026, maybe even longer. It is a severe search of this, rubbish dump. Now, I have the feasibility study here. I'll show you a little bit about it here. So this is an outline of the Prairie Green landfill here. I wonder if I can make this a little bigger. Yeah, there we go. So this is just showing you there's actually a utility corridor next to it, so they sort of have to be careful. The blue one is hydro and power utility, and the yellow is a railway that goes near the site. And they believe, here's some of the quadrants. So they believe they're over here in this green section, somewhere here. It's quite a big area, and they're saying that this is sort of the way they have to remove it too. If I show you, so you get a daily deposit, and then it's sort of like shifted and pushed onto this angle, sort of like a trapezoid or something. And then you get another one, and then they push it and layer it, and then they get another one the next day, and they push it and layer it, and they sort of have to remove them in these chunks and dig down to try and find where these girls are, where their remains are within the landfill. So it's quite a bit of effort. They believe they know what section or quadrant that these girls are in, but that doesn't change the fact that it's quite a big operation just to get to that layer. So that's sort of how it works here. Yeah, so cell 16, 15, 13, and 12. So they're the ones they're looking for. Here is the what is this one? Images, hold on, I can't read it. Purple arrow shows location of asbestos. So they have to be very careful. There's a chunk here that actually has asbestos. So they have to be very careful. They're saying the shape and size of the area associated with cells 15 and 13. The estimated volume is 72,000 cubic meters. That's crazy. Given this volume of material includes material deposited for 11 months prior to the timing of the possible deposition of remains or depositing of remains of Morgan and Mercedes at the landfill, it is possible that the volume of material to be searched is much less than estimated. In fact, given the timing of possible of them being deposited, the timing of the closure of the cell was between May 16 and June 20 of that year. It is only 34 days of waste material that needs to be searched. That being said, cell 15 and 13 does not follow the same standard lift construction as other cells due to excessively wet spring of 2022, because it also includes asbestos. So this is sort of the area they have to look through, and it's like a 3D model of it. So they have to dig down into it. They say the west slope of cells 15/13 with a purple arrow, so right here, they're saying has recorded deposits of asbestos. All material is received in yellow double wrap bags placed in a pre-excavated hole and then covered. They're saying 12 tons of asbestos was landfilled during that time, and it's possible that the remains of both women may be intertwined between the asbestos and them. So they are, concerned about that, because when you start digging, if you break it up and it gets into the air, then you start poisoning other people, possibly the searchers. So it's not an easy dig. Now let's see if we can have a look down here. Yeah, they have a risk and hazards section too. They're worried about hydrogen sulfide that could be in concentrations within the different cells, because they believe that when things break down, it creates gas pockets within it. They're saying there is asbestos in cell 15 at PGL. And what else? Hidden slope instability. They're saying that once they start digging, it's possible that they may get a landslide from messing with the structure of it. Let's have a look down here. All right. Yeah, so this is another overview of the area. And they're saying just to search this area, they need a large, approximately 23,000 feet structure is required to house all equipment required for a conveyor belt system search process. The building must follow all municipal MB health and safety environmental legislation. They're saying the building will ensure that the search process can continue through all weather. Let's have a look down here. This is just like things they need for it. Yeah, so this is the way they're going to conduct the search. Excavation of material from cell 15/13 should occur in a horizontal layer system. This will ensure cell integrity, stopping cave-ins or landslide. They're saying during excavation, extremely large materials such as mattresses, furniture, large pieces of piping may be located and needs to be separated. They're saying, yeah, just like it's a lot of work. That's how yeah, specifics of transportation of material from cell 1513 must be coordinated with staff. So, and then they have to return it after they've gone through it with a forensic anthropologist and they have reviewed it. They will return it back to the area. So it's a really in-depth potential timeline. They believe it's difficult to estimate a timeline for a possible search of the landfill at PGL, as the amount of material that can be processed today can only be roughly estimated. Regardless of how long the search processing will take, they need a minimum of half a year lead time in order to acquire all necessary permissions, equipment, that type of thing. But they believe approximately 3 to 3.5 years it will take them to do this. So they're saying there is 61,200 tons of material to be searched, which would require 131 weeks or possibly 2.5 years just to search that material. And that is estimated on searching 60 tons a day for an 8-hour day. 60 tons per day. And here's some of the cost breakdown. For 3 years, $44 million. And that is a very small, like it's a conservative number. Estimated for 1 year, $14.9 million Canadian dollars. So a lot of money. They believe it could be up to 100 million if it goes over time or they don't find what they're looking for. Yeah, what is this one? These are just different costings. One thinks it's going to be about 40 million. The other one says about 33 million. So, and then yeah, different processing. Yeah, total cost per year, $93 million, 83 million with the other party. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. Yeah, project director, daily average $3,600 a day for the person who is the director of the operation. Forensic anthropologist charges around $1,200 a day to work on the project. So you can see it's a lot. They need like hazmat and PPE, first aid and emergency health and safety training due to the type of stuff they're dealing with. What is this? Identification of human remains here. There has been some concern that the ability to identify human remains from amongst material in the landfill would be very challenging due to the presence of animal bones. The Winnipeg Police Service indicated 1,500 tons of animal remains were landfilled at PGL, and this was taken to mean remains including bone. PGL has clarified that it accepts rendered pig remains from an animal processing plant. These remains do not include bone or large pieces of recognizable soft tissue. Rather, these 1,500 tons of rendered animal remains are more consistent with a thick sludge that will coat and cover all material which it is associated, generating a potential biohazard concern, but not an issue in the volume of bones that would have been reviewed otherwise. Further, PGL accepts both commercial and residential waste, and it is possible there may be some animal remains associated with food or other animal waste, such as dead animals. Ugh. Forensic anthropologists are specifically trained to identify animal versus human, and that's why they need a forensic anthropologist. Let's have a look. All right, let's go up to some of the other information at the top here about what is the success of doing this. Let's see. They had like a thing from America talking about how long you have to do this and what are the chances of actually finding the girls once you try. Where is it? Let's see. Yeah. They say Paulson and Moran, 2019, conducted a survey from law enforcement officers who have worked on landfill searches. From a total of 46 cases, the average number of days searching that ended in the recovery of remains was slightly over 17 days. The longest search took 2 months, while the shortest lasted 2 hours. The latter search was quick because the remains of the victim were in the landfill only for half a day to a day. That's why they found it so quickly. The success rate for surveyed cases was only 43.5%, while 30.4% of cases were unsuccessful. Successful was unknown for around a quarter of the cases, 26%, due to incomplete or cessation of communication between the researchers and police agencies. Searches lasting 30 days increased success of locating human remains. In addition, results of the survey found the shorter the time between a body entering the landfill and the start of the search, the higher the success rate. At the 30-day mark between the victim entering the landfill and the start of a search, chances of a successful search are near even 50-50. But drop after a month has passed after that. Based on the results of the study, caution initiating a search when more than 60 days has passed between the body entering the landfill and the search being initiated. This is like 3 or 4 years ago. So it is that's why the search could be for many years, like 2 to 3.5 years, because the time between the bodies entering the landfill and them starting the search for them is exponentially long. It's just it's probably one of the longest, like when they were entered and then when they're starting to look for the girls. This might be one of the longest ever done. They're saying in addition to the time between depositing of victim and initiating a search, additional factors should be considered that lead to successful searches, including knowing how much garbage has covered the victim and whether or not the landfill can aid with the operation in looking for them. And yeah, so for every month after that first 2 months, so month 3, 4, 5, 6, your rates decrease every month after the second month. So yeah, there you go. I thought I would show you just some interesting data about it. Hey Banter Lions, how are you? Interesting. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if there would be any this deep within the search. This is not on the top where you might have that. This is like deep buried. So we're covering Skibisky out of Canada. So I can play a little video if you want to catch up. Give me 1 second. Let me grab something for you so you can catch up. Yeah.
Pain, anger, and deep grief inside a Winnipeg courtroom as victims' family members and friends finally confronted the man who assaulted, killed, and threw the remains of their loved ones in the trash. Convicted serial killer Jeremy Skibitsky will spend at least the next 25 years in prison after being sentenced today in a ruling that many are saying brings accountability to the murders of Indigenous women. CTV's Alison Bamford reports.
I want him to suffer. He made my girl suffer. He needs to suffer.
Emotions spilling out of the courtroom following Jeremy Skibitsky's sentencing. Inside, 14 victim impact statements read out loud, detailing unimaginable pain.
I will never say his name. He's an evil monster. He has hurt this family, tore it apart.
Last month, a judge found Skibitsky guilty on 4 counts of first-degree murder after his lawyer unsuccessfully argued the killer was not criminally responsible. The case first came to light when Rebecca Contois' remains were found in a Winnipeg dumpster in May 2022, leading to this confession citing white supremacist beliefs.
I killed 4 people.
The remains of the other 3 victims, Morgan Harris, Mercedes Myron, and an unidentified victim known as Buffalo Woman, also thrown in garbage bins, but haven't been found.
I miss my sister every day, and to have to do this continuously, it doesn't get any easier.
Today, a judge handed Skibitsky 4 automatic life sentences to be served at the same time with no chance of parole for 25 years, saying it's the only sentence he could impose and will regrettably not adequately reflect the gravity of these offenses.
It would be a massive challenge for Mr. Skibitsky to persuade the parole board that he should be essentially granted parole in 25 years.
No amount of jail time will be long enough, family members say, but the ruling sends a strong message.
Today sets a precedence that if you attack a First Nation woman, you will be held accountable.
The case became a catalyst for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls advocacy, sparking nationwide calls to search a Winnipeg landfill for Harris and Myron's remains, now scheduled for the fall.
Well, it is the fall now, and they, as of 3 days ago, started searching that landfill finally, and they are looking for those 2 women. Oh, yeah, I definitely believe so. So he does have, unfortunately, one of his victims they don't know the name of her. They call her Buffalo Woman, but they really don't know her ID or who she is. Jeremy preyed upon people who were vulnerable within the community, often either had drug or homelessness issues, or for whatever reason they weren't in a safe environment, and he knew exactly what he was doing. He would prey on women's shelters and offer them things so they would go with him, and then he would abuse and then kill them and dump them into trash dumpsters and treat them like garbage. That's how they ended up in the landfill, because he would just throw them in, in an industrial, apartment, dumpster. So I can show you a little bit here. The timeline related to Morgan Harris and Mercedes Mirren and the Prairie Green landfill. They say the following information has been provided by the Winnipeg Police Service. Morgan Harris from Long Plains First Nation was born June 12th, 1982, and would have been just short of her 40th birthday when she went missing. She had shoulder-length dark brown hair and was 5 feet tall and 100 pounds. She was last seen on May 1st, 2022, and was reported missing May 16, 2022. She was last seen wearing black 3/4 length jacket, a black zip-up hoodie, mock neck sweater with circular zipper pulls, light blue hoodie, black pants, white or light gray Nike shoes with a blue Nike logo. She was carrying a green reusable shopping bag and a white plastic garbage bag with personal belongings inside. Remains of Morgan are believed to have been deposited in a dumpster in the 1300 block of Henderson Highway on May 3rd. On May 16, 2022 at 6:38 a.m., the contents of that dumpster were emptied into a Green for Life garbage truck and deposited at the landfill. Keep those dates in mind. All right, Mercedes Mirren was also from Long Plain First Nation, born November 9th, 1995, and would have been 26 years old at the time she disappeared. She was last seen May 4th, 2022, and was reported missing on September 26, 2022. She had medium-length dark brown hair, was 5'3" and 90 pounds. When last seen, she was wearing a black baseball cap with a red peak and a red Fortnite logo, a black hoodie, a black tank top, and black pants with black Under Armour shoes. She is not believed to have been carrying a bag of any kind. Remains of Mercedes are believed to have been deposited in a dumpster in the 1300 block of Henderson Highway 3 days after the first girl, Morgan Harris. So just 3 days later, he killed another woman and dumped her in a dumpster on the 1300 block of Henderson Highway, and they remained there until May 16, 2022. This one too, May 16, 2022. So they both got put into a rubbish truck and taken to the landfill on the same day. So they believe at the landfill, these two women will most likely be in a similar area. So if they find one, they should find the other one. They should be close together. At least they believe so. They say based on the location of the dumpster and the time it was picked up, it is believed that the remains of both Mercedes and Morgan were likely in the same dumpster and the same garbage truck when deposited at the landfill. On or about June 19, 2022, as a result of an ongoing investigation, the Winnipeg Police Service formed the belief that Mercedes and Morgan were located at the Prairie Green landfill. Police subsequently visited that landfill on June 20th, 2022. The landfill operator made the decision to cease operations in cell 15 and 13 on this date. The cell in which the relevant dumpster was deposited. To date, no additional material has been deposited in the same cells as that in which the remains of Mercedes and Morgan are believed to be located. Consequently, there are 34 days of material that could have been deposited in the cell of interest since May 16, 2022. So if we go to their realm of finding these women based on the chances of the study that we read before, 34 days is about half of the 2-month maximum that they were talking about before. At 2 months, you got a 50-50 chance of finding them. At around 34 days, they believe it's around a 75% chance that they should be able to locate them because no additional rubbish was deposited past the 34 days. So hopefully that this search won't be too crazy. But Banta says newer DNA forensic makes it harder for these sadistic killers to get away with murder. That is true. Yeah, he thought preying on the weakest women, going through a really hard time in their lives, and you know, they were already at rock bottom. Not saying they couldn't make it out themselves, they probably would have, but he knew they were so desperate that he used them like toys, and when he was finished with them, he killed them and threw them away. He treated them like trash. Yeah, you're dreaming. Yeah, so it's really, really, really interesting. Yeah, so here, remains of Mercedes are estimated to have been in the dumpster on May 6 at 2 a.m. in the morning, and were there until 10 days later on May 16 at 6:38 in the morning, at which time the contents were put into the truck and taken to the Prairie Green landfill. The average daily high temperature was 17.8 degrees Celsius, and the low was about 9 degrees. It's pretty cold for human remains. It's not like you're in Louisiana or Mississippi with high humidity and high heat, which speeds up the decomposition. So that might help. They say, note that based on this information, remains of Morgan and Mercedes are likely in the same dumpster, but for slightly different durations. One was 13 days and one was 10 days. Doesn't really make a huge difference. Decomposition is highly dependent on temperature. Warmer temperatures facilitate decomposition and cooler temperatures slow it down. The relationship between maggot activity and weather is the same. Warmer temperatures mean a higher degree of insect or maggot activity, and cooler temperatures slow that activity down. So, being that these temperatures were quite cool, it should help. They say temperatures for the time that Morgan and Mercedes were in the dumpster is based on Environment Canada data, and they saying depending on the degree of sunlight and the fact that decaying organic material can generate heat. Despite this, the overall process of decomposition of human remains would have followed a normal trajectory, if a little slow due to the cooler temperatures, such as at night. They say if the remains of Morgan and Mercedes were deposited into the dumpster as complete and intact without any exterior wrapping other than clothing, their bodies would go through the normal sequence of decomposition and skeletonization. During the approximate 2 weeks they were in the dumpster, the average daily temperature was between 12.5 to 13.4 degrees Celsius. Maggot activity would likely have been high during the day and reduced overnight as temperatures cooled, resulting in considerable soft tissue loss over the 2 weeks. So they're saying it is very unlikely that the decomposition would extend to full skeletonization during this 2-week period. Therefore, it is likely that upon entering the landfill, any remains would retain some soft tissue, considerable marrow, and blood would be retained in the bone. So, yeah, they think they will find some human remains that are not just a skeleton. They're expecting to find some hair, some skin, some muscle, and things like that. They think they will. Yeah, so they believe that the decomposition process being in the landfill may actually help in that a thick, waxy substance that occurs during decomp in the presence of liquid and absence of oxygen can actually help preserve tissue and bone. And they said they believe the remains will be partially skeletonized with the retention of some soft tissue and greasy bone, possible fragmentation and dispersal. So that's why the search has to look through everything. Yeah, so you can see these different scenarios that they went through because they're not sure how he dumped them. They know they were in the bin, but they're not sure, did he cut them up? Did he wrap them in a rug? Did he put them in garbage bags? These all add to different decomposition timelines in that weather and then in the landfill. So depending on how they were disposed of, it gives you a different timeline throughout the decomposition process, either in the dumpster or in the landfill. So you are most welcome. We have done this particular case a few times, and I've been waiting for the landfill search to begin. I've been waiting like 2 years for it to finally get off the ground and start going. And now they're about 3 or 4 days into it now. So they should be into that top layer going by their timeline. Maybe we'll get some news in by next week if they find anything at all that might belong to the girls. Well, I don't know if there'd be any water in the bin. Maybe if you put a whole bunch of snow, or I don't know, dumped a giant thing of water in there, maybe. But they were dumped in the garbage bin, so I don't think so. But it would, if it was water though, it would speed up the decomposition rate significantly. You would have probably skeletonization within a few weeks due to the moisture. Yeah, there's the little overview of the area that they're going to search. Let's see if we can get that other one. Yeah, so there's 15 and 13. So these are the areas that they're going to have a look at. Here, I'll see if I can make that bigger. There we go. So 15 and 13 are the majority that they're looking for. I don't know if they are going to look in 11. 11's right here. There's a little bit branching out over it, but I think they believe they're here in 15 and 13. So they have to dig through this entire section, and it's quite substantial. Here, I wonder if I can show you. If we go up here, I'm pretty sure it's down here. It's this quadrant right here, I think. Either that or it's this one. I'm not sure. It doesn't tell us. Consists of, yeah, it doesn't tell us, but cell 13 and 15 are right here. And you can see the topography, sort of like a map. Like if you had an old school map, you can see here. You can see the different ridges and the heights here. And there again, I'll show you that. This is how they structure the landfill. So they use these. So they dig a hole, and then they fill it in with these slanted sort of rectangles or trapezoid or whatever you want to call it, diamond shape if you want to call it that, and they stack them. So if this was a complete one, you would have like another one here, and then another one here, and then another one here, and so on, and so on. And then they probably do one up the top, they start again, and they put a slant, and then they do another one up the top, and they just build it. So to excavate this, they have to take it apart the way it was built to maintain the structural integrity of the landfill. So if they built it like this, they have to start from the top and take one section away at a time. So they'd probably dig down and remove this entire section. And then if there's another one, they'll go there and take the next one. Or if they want to go straight down, they'd probably take this one and then maybe this one, and then work backwards. But it has to be removed in the way that it was built. So that takes a lot of time. Reby says, who would have thought that the landfill is an engineering exercise? It is. It really is. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So there's another 3D model of this is 13 and 15 here. So they're going to have to dig in from the side. And again, like we said before, where the purple arrow is pointing, they believe there is asbestos in the area where the bodies might be. And you can see the different terrain that they have to deal with. So they have to cut into this somehow and sort of like scrape it away, and then take that next chunk and scrape it away, and then go down a layer and do the same until they can excavate that entire green section, and then hopefully go through it and find the girls. So normally they don't use cadaver dogs in a landfill search. It's not the reason they don't do it is a few things. One, the dogs can get hurt due to, metal, wire, bits of fridges or whatever. The second thing is the smells are so strong that the dog can't differentiate between rubbish and human remains, that type of thing. It's so contaminated that they don't want to put the dog through that. There's also health issues, different gases, different biohazard, that type of thing. So they don't like doing that to cadaver dogs. They did build a structure to look through what they dig out. Maybe they might use them in there, but they don't use them in the landfill, like in the direct search. Yeah, it's not safe for the dogs and they can't smell properly. So, yeah, if there's one thing I know, it seems to be landfill searches. we've done a lot on them. Yeah, so the west slope of cell 15 and 13. So there you go. Where the purple arrow is the western portion of 13 and 15 and 13. So that must be that, and then it goes all the way through here, and they have to dig down. Remember, it's a 3D image, so it's not just that top portion; it's all the way down. So this giant portion, and if you imagine this is a full size area, that's huge. This thing is like a mountain. It's just a massive portion of rubbish and landfill. So. All right, let me have a look here. What did they say here? Cells 15 and 13 is approximately 200 meters by 100 meters with a maximum depth of 10 meters. The estimated volume of material to be searched on topographical survey data between May 8th, 2021 and June 4th, 2022 is approximately 7,200 square meters. Given that this volume of material includes material deposited for 11 months prior to the timing of the possible depositing of human remains, it is possible that the volume of material to be searched could be less than that. So, yes, it's a lot of stuff. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, 72,000 square meters of material. Time frame, landfill search. Okay. I wanted to show you the bit where here. So landfills produce methane, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. Methane and carbon dioxide are natural byproducts of decomposition of natural material in landfill. Both are considered asphyxiants, so they cause suffocation, and methane is highly flammable. And they're saying that all these gases could be a part of it. So hydrogen sulfide is colorless gas that smells like rotten eggs. Yuck. And in low concentrations can cause headaches, nausea, confusion, skin complications, irritation of the eyes, nose, throat, and lungs, memory loss, disorientation, and slower reaction times In high concentrations, it can cause unconsciousness and death. Those that survive large amounts of it have permanent damage to their nervous system and impaired learning and memory. Ugh. And then there's also asbestos in cell 15 that we all know what that can do. And a bunch of biohazards from animal waste, different other animals that have died and been put in there, human waste and biohazards. Let's see. So there was a section here that tells you about the things that they have to wear to search the landfill. I want to try find that for you. Yeah, let's see. Here, they actually said they actually are considering using human remain detection dogs, cadaver dogs in this one. But when they were searching for Susan Simpson in Texas, they said that it doesn't work very well in landfills. So I don't know where they got their advice for this particular paper. This is the technical subcommittee for the what are they called? The landfill feasibility study, Manitoba Chiefs. So this was their paper for it. So I don't know where they got their information about it. Yeah, see, in addition to concerns of high risk of injury to human remains to cadaver dogs, is the fact if a dog does not indicate / signal on an area of material that that area is considered searched and not to contain any material of interest, human detection, cadaver dogs are not infallible, and it is possible human remains could be missed when using this approach. While the technical subcommittee recognizes that human remains could be missed in any search strategy, we think it's important to utilize a search method that ensures all material is reviewed, such as one that incorporates a conveyor belt system. So that's where they take like a chunk of material and they spread it out and they have multiple eyes looking at it and breaking it apart and having a look and what is this? And if they think it's something, then the next person has a look. And if it's nothing, then it keeps going. And then they get the next bit and have a look and they break it apart and have a look. And you have more eyes on it. So less items will be missed or not detected. But yeah, it's not a good thing. I've heard this before that they don't like using human detection dogs. Yeah, here they say the dogs do not have access to the same options for PPE as human searchers. In particular, respirators. So you can't put a respirator on a dog, and therefore are at high risk for injury. Cadaver dogs have been deployed in past to search landfill, but have not been overly successful due to hazards associated with such searches. So yeah, it's not. I've heard it just doesn't work properly. Not as if you're in like a forest and you had a body in a forest. That's different because you have like one smell, which is your baseline, and then you're looking for something that smells very like strong, like a body. The dog can find it because it's like, okay, this is my surrounding and what it smells like, and then we have this smell that I'm looking for. But yeah, if you're looking for the other way, that's right, I do. I'm a method actor. Ten football fields. That no wonder it's going to take 3.5 years to do it. That is insane. Imagine doing that. 10 football fields of just trash. And they even said they have some sort of thick slime from, what did they say it's from? Rendering down pigs. So some company is using the pigs for, I don't know, something. and then whatever is left, the sludge at the bottom, they just send it to the landfill. So they have to look through that. Ugh. I don't think I want to look through that. Yeah. Yuck. I don't want to do that. Let's see if I wanted to find a bit about what they have to wear. Where is that? They had this section about like they have to wear like a Tyvek suit and a mask and a gas tank. They can only work for like 15 minutes at a time, but I can't find it. Oh yeah, is this it? No, that's not it. Anyway, they were saying that due to how hazardous working in the pit of the landfill is, they can only work for very short periods of time due to the heat, the gases, how strenuous it is, the gear they're wearing. It's pretty brutal apparently. I was trying to see if maybe it's in their other document. They've produced a few of these about the landfill. Oh yeah, here. The following list is a potential PPE to serve as a guideline. Disposable microporous overalls, full face respirator, P100 HEPA filters for respirator, chemical resistant gloves, Kevlar cut and puncture resistant gloves, hazmat boots, chemical resistant tape, moisture wicking long sleeve underclothing, hard hats, high visibility vest, hazardous material disposal bags, commercial washing/drying machines, or contracted laundry services. That's like you have to wear all this to do the search. Oh my god. You're basically going to be strapped up with everything. You're going to have tape, and imagine if you had to pee. You'd be so screwed. You'd be like, my eyeball is very itchy right now. What do I do? What do I do? The back of my neck is itchy. Because you can't touch anything. Your hands are basically a bio waste. Terrible. Let's have a look. It's a shame I can't find that other one about qualification. No, that's not it. Redacted. Yeah, unfortunately I can't find it, but I hope you found that interesting. Yeah, I don't know why I can't find it unfortunately, but they had a section on like working times and they can't do much, so that's what I do in my spare time. I like recreate it in my house and then I pretend like it's CSI Miami and I go through it so that I can give you the, first-hand account of how all this works. All right. All right, let's get off this. Let's stop that. Okay. All right. All right, that's it for that one. Hopefully we get a new update in the coming days. Never heard of him. Who's that? Never heard of what's a Gary Hughes? Who's Gary Hughes? I don't know who that is. I've never heard of such a person. But I'll make sure to take your advice. Hold on. I've never heard of such a person. But I wanted to show you something very interesting that came across my desk the other day. I thought you guys might find it interesting. Apparently, Amazon sells these. Now, I can't tell you any connection, and I don't know where they come from, but I can tell you that they're very interesting looking. I don't know anything about a Gary Hugs or whatever his name is, but I can tell you these are quite entertaining. What this means, I don't know. I can't tell you. Banterline says he belittles others' theories on crimes, calling them idiots because they have a different opinion or theory. Yeah. Hopefully people just figure out which channels are worth people's time or whatever. Hopefully. All right. I wanted to show you something actually out of Canada. So Canada often does this 25 most wanted fugitives, and I always find it interesting when other countries have sort of like an American, what do they call it? America's Most Wanted. I love that show. Here.
Now, we also have a list now of Canada's top 25 most wanted fugitives. They are career criminals, drug traffickers, murderers on the run from the law. In the top two spots, two men in Canada from Quebec, police want off the streets. CTV's Quebec Bureau Chief Geneviève Beauchemin now on the list and the rewards being offered. Jen.
Well, Sandy, the top two wanted men are at the heart of a violent conflict here in Quebec, but they could be anywhere. With life-size cutouts of their suspects in the background, authorities listed their fugitives.
Dave Pic-Turmel, notre nouveau numéro 1.
Top of their list is Dave Pic-Turmel, suspected leader of the Blood Family Mafia, BFM, a gang in Quebec fighting a battle against the Hells Angels for the control of the drug trade. Number 2 is an ally of Turmel's, Al Boivin, linked to a series of violent crimes.
There's little doubt that, based on Bolo and the assessment we conducted, that these two individuals do represent like a high threat for the community.
On offer, a $250,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in each case. Also on the list of 25, a woman wanted by the York Regional Police in connection with the murder of a 16-year-old Quebec boy in August.
York Regional Police, Regina Police Service, Saskatoon Police Service.
Today, more than 20 police services joined forces with Bolo, or Be on the Lookout, a non-profit fighting crime.
There's about $1 million offered in reward just today. So there's about $1 million on the table for this specific top 25. So money's there to be paid out.
Since Bolo was set up in 2018, 30 of its files have led to arrests. Investigators say catching up to criminals is a community effort.
All it takes is one phone call, and we can apprehend these individuals.
Bolo focuses on social media, technology to draw attention to the most wanted. But also this time, an unusual stunt. This chocolate advent calendar.
Everything we can do to encourage people to be on the lookout, including printing advent calendars, we will do it.
The aim.
So, if you have a true crime person in your family, maybe you should have got them a Bolo advent calendar. Now, I looked to try and see if I could buy them, but I was going to buy some and give them out to people, but I don't know where you get them from. I was checking their website, but I don't know where they are. Like, if you go to their website, there's nowhere on here to buy that advent calendar. Maybe because I'm in Australia, it doesn't show me, but I can show you their website here with the different names on it. I like how they make them move. How do they do that? Is that like AI that they've sort of manipulated it? Or when people are arrested now, they make them move. Isn't that freaky that you can see them moving around? Maybe it's from their, when you go to a police station, do you know this when you were arrested? When they take your photo, they take multiple. So maybe they're just layering the photos and turning them into a video. But it's freaky how they move. It's almost like they're looking at you, like one of those paintings that follow you. But yeah, you can see here, I found the rewards interesting in Canada. Like a lot of them are like 50 grand. You guys don't have a ton of like $1 million rewards like in Australia. A lot of them, $250,000. That's $500,000 for this guy. What did he do? Can we click on him? Let's go. What did he do? Take no action to apprehend him yourself. He may be armed and dangerous. Yes, armed with a very terrible haircut. Anyone offering him assistance in evading arrest may be considered an accessory after the fact and face charges. But it's probably pretty helpful if you tell us what he did. You don't want to tell us what he did, or who is he? Let's see if I can find him. Yeah, okay. What did he do? Oh, he escaped prison. That's what he did. A BC man who escaped prison is on Canada's most wanted list and may be armed and dangerous. Okay. So that's what he did. He somehow made it out of a prison. There he is again. It is a pretty good idea. I think in the Canada one, they also have like that lottery one where it's not for these type of cases, but it's more like local cases where if you provide tips or like, hey, I saw them on the, downtown in the city, you go into like a lottery each month and they give away money. I think that's a pretty interesting idea, getting people to phone in and talk. I don't know. I can't say I've ever watched much of his channel. I don't know. I'm busy here doing shows here, so I never really know. He treated you very abusively. Yeah, I've heard similar tales of people that have done similar. All right. Yeah, but so how many people do they have here? Anyway, you can't find anything about these advent calendars. Hold on, what is it called? Bolo program. Yeah, I don't know where you get them from. Here, Toronto Star. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if they have like, how do you get them? Yeah, this year it was framed as an advent calendar with, it's just images of 25 suspects. I thought they were like a real thing we could give out. Oh, that's a shame. Damn. I thought it was like he's holding one here. I was like, can we get those to give to people? See, he's holding one right there. Oh, and you pop it open and each one has a different guy in it or a different fugitive. I want those. I want to give some away to people. Yeah, we don't ask for donations during the show. They're like the links are here or whatever, but they're just there for people that want to. It's not like we just do it at the end of the show. If people donate or whatever, then I'll say thank you at the end of the show, or I'll say support the show at the end. But we don't spend. There's too many cases to get through to keep asking people every 5 minutes for a donation or whatever. We got like a billion different stories that we have to work on. So I don't have time to stop my show every 2 minutes and bitch and complain about whatever. Got far too many, families, stories that need media attention. It's just there's more important things. Let's have a look. I was hoping to give you an update about the woman who was found in the brothel in Melbourne, 149 Rainbow Garden. But unfortunately, they're having problems tracking down her next of kin. So the only person who's been told of her death is apparently her daughter, but no one else in the family. I know, like I think that's a great idea. It's sort of like do you know how they did the playing cards and each one had a unsolved murder on it? I so desperately wanted one of those, like a pack of cards, and I contacted the New South Wales police or the AFP, and they said that it's only for people in prison and that they don't give them out to people on the outside. It's just for inmates. You can't get it if you're not an inmate. Banter says, I'm so fortunate. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed already, I would appreciate it. Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. So, yes, they have now charged Michael Chalmers with that murder. Here's a photo of him. But they won't release the victim's name, the female, that 60-year-old woman, because they can't get in touch with any more of her family to notify them of her death. There's the tributes on the outside of the brothel that people have put up over the past week, but they just no news on who that woman might be. But according to the court documents, she wasn't discovered for about 48 hours. So she had been lying dead inside that facility for at least a couple of days until they found her last Friday, actually a week from today. You're welcome. Yeah, so I don't know what to tell you except for it's very sad that they can't find anyone but her daughter to tell, hey, she died. So until they can notify the next of kin, they won't be giving out the name. He's going to be popular in the jail. You know, he's a sure thing, you know. But he's been remanded until next year, April 2025. So we're not going to hear very much about that one until next year, unfortunately. And the Rye shooting, we still don't know who this guy they're looking for. No idea. We know the two people who died, the female intruder and the guy who lived at the property, but we still don't know who they're looking for in regards to the male that is on the run. Hold on, Rye shooting. Let me show you the last update for that one. Let me try this one. Wait, hold on. Is that correct? Wait. Man's on the run. I don't know if they're confusing two stories here. I just saw something that said a man was in custody, but I don't think so. Yeah, no. They are talking Fugazi here. Alright, let me load this up here. This was the last update I have. I don't have anything else other than this.
Manhunt is underway after a double homicide in a coastal area southeast of Melbourne, known for being a summer holiday destination. Emergency services say a man and a woman were found with gunshot wounds but couldn't be revived. Reporter Jessie Thompson is in Rye on the Mornington Peninsula and joined us now. Hi there, Jessie. What can you tell us?
Well, Rose, police believe that the shooter suspected to have been involved in what they think is a double homicide is still at large. This incident unfolded in Riot, an address behind me, at about 4 o'clock, where police believe that an altercation broke out between a group of people. By the time that emergency services attended, they found a man and a woman with gunshot wounds. Despite their efforts, they couldn't be revived. Police also believe that a man may have fled the scene, and that's probably the person that they're looking for now. Aside from that, we don't have many other details. One neighbour spoke to media and said that she happened to be up at about that time and heard two loud bangs about 40 seconds apart, but didn't think much of it until she read some of the reports in the news this morning. As you can see, there's still a crime scene in place behind me. Detectives have spent the morning combing through the area. They're currently going door to door, hoping to speak with neighbours and witnesses. But one difficulty that they're having is that this is a bit of a summer holiday destination with lots of Airbnbs and holiday homes. And at this time of year on a Monday morning, not too many of those people are home. So that investigation is underway. We haven't heard of any threat to public safety. I'm sure that police would let us know if there was a significant.
But yeah, that's the last update after identifying that female Charlize and the male victim. That's it. We don't know who the guy is that they're looking for. I have a feeling they might have a feeling who it is, because otherwise they'd be splashing his name everywhere, going, "Tell us where he is," and they're just not. So I just don't think they are very concerned about that guy that they're looking for, whatever his name is. There's really not a lot of updates in the CEO killing. They keep reposting these photos as brand new information, but we've all seen them before. The smiling Joker photos. Yeah, he's not getting out of jail. The parole will be denied. He ain't getting out. That's Malat. That's Malat's nephew, great nephew. I don't think he'll get out of jail. I can't see him being released. Yeah, I can't see anything about his parole. Hold on. Parole. I'm just trying to find his full name. I can't remember what it is. Oh, Matthew Stephen Malat. Yeah, Matthew Malat, jailed for 43 years. Yeah, I don't think he's getting out anytime soon. 43 years. Iranian? I mean, there's a lot of people from a lot of different nationalities that live in New York. Could be anyone. Could be, though. Here, gunmen checked in and out of New York City hostel multiple times. They say the assailant who shot the CEO of United Healthcare, Bryant? I don't know if his name is Bryant. Who's typing these stories? His name is Bryant. They're saying the killer checked in and out of a Manhattan hostel. Who's writing this stuff? It must be AI. Look at this. What is a hostel? A hostel. And who is Bryant? I don't know who Bryant is, and I don't know what a hostel is. It's like the T from Bryant should be here in hostel. Someone's typing too quickly for their own face. They're saying here, after allegedly arriving in New York City by bus on November 24, the gunman checked into the hostel. A law enforcement source told CNN he was then said to have checked out of it on November 29. He proceeded to check back into it on November 30. Odd. And they're saying he traveled to New York on a Greyhound bus from Atlanta, an 870-mile journey. It's interesting. Why would he travel so far into New York for this type of thing? In the Hudson River? You think he jumped in the river? Maybe. They say surveillance footage shows the suspect getting off the bus in New York around 9 p.m. on November 24, approximately 10 days before the killing, according to CNN. It's not clear at which stop the suspect got on the bus. That day, he was seen walking through the Port Authority bus terminal in Manhattan, a law enforcement source told the outlet. And Greyhound says they are fully cooperating with authorities on this active investigation. So there you go. And there's the map where he shot the guy. He fled northbound into an alley, and then he walked up 6th Avenue and gets on a bike, and then he went through here, which is 85th, and then went through the park. Last sighting of him riding the park into Central Park. So I don't think they're too far off his tail, though. Yeah, they were worth a lot of money, and he was being investigated for insider trading. They did find a cell phone, but it could be a burner, so we don't know if it has anything on it. Does it have any information? Yeah, he came from Atlanta. Yeah, they said originally that they thought it was a for hire bike. They don't believe that anymore. They believe that bike is something he owned or something he stole. I don't know. But it's no longer one that, you hire for half an hour or whatever. What is this? New footage. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, there he is. Walking up a set of stairs. Oh, very, very intriguing. Very intriguing. Yeah. I didn't know that about Minnesota. I didn't know. All right, there we go. All right. I think that's about it for the night, guys. I got to go eat. It's 10 p.m. at night, and I I still haven't got my pizza. Where is it? Hopefully they deliver it soon. Hopefully. I guess it is a Friday night, so. By the way, Sean, I appreciate the donation today. I will use that to fund my my in-person trash excavation adventures. I will. Yeah, he did. Domino's? No, it's not Domino's. I don't like chain pizza. Tastes terrible. Can't stand like Pizza Hut or Domino's or we got a little one down the road that just makes like what we call like deli pizza, which is just like nice pizza. But I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Nights with Ping. We'll be back on, and hopefully, maybe when I wake up in the morning, they will have caught this guy, and we'll finally have some answers as to why he decided to travel all the way into New York many days before the shooting and stalk this CEO and then shoot him. We'll find out. Yes, good night, everyone. Good night. Have a great Friday night, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, hugs to her. Probably. Probably. I hope it arrives soon. I want my pizza to be hot. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Good night. Bye.